Happy weekend, y'all. Welcome to another weekend review. It's been quite an interesting week. We're more than halfway into the year and, shit is crazy. But I'm here with COVID numbers, so I don't want to be so long because I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. So I hope you're having a good one. So everyone knows, if you've been watching for the last 2 years, I've been keeping up with these COVID numbers, and trust me, they're astronomical. Very astronomical. So let's start off with the Johns Hopkins University Medicine and website, their coronavirus resource center. Global confirmed cases around the world, over I think 191 countries. Happy Friday to you, Zach. Is 568,960,638, and that's in 191 countries. 80. So it's up there. It's almost 200 countries. The global death toll is 6,382,237. U.S. confirmed cases are at 90 million. I almost said 90,000, but 90,367,064. And the death toll here at home is at 1,026,883. So I'll repeat those numbers again. There are 568,960,638 global confirmed cases of COVID-19. There are 6,382,237 global deaths from COVID-19. We have here at home in the United States of America over 90 million cases of COVID, but the exact number is 90,367,064. And we have over 1 million people dead from coronavirus here at home. And the exact number is 1,026,883. Keep in mind, the United States is 4.2 of the world's population. And we have about 25% of the cases of COVID-19, including 25% of the death toll compared to other countries. In terms of vaccinations, there were over 300,000 Americans that received their dose yesterday. The exact number is 315,526. A total of 223 million Americans received already are fully vaccinated, so that is 68% of the population. Why do I always say COVID numbers all the time? Because we've been dealing with this pandemic for the last 2 years. And no, ladies and gentlemen, we're not out of this pandemic because there is a BA.5 variant. And is it made in a lab? No, it's not made in a lab. This shit is here. This shit is not going away, honestly, till probably the next presidential election. And I don't want to sound like it's doomsday, but we've been dealing with this pandemic for 2 years, and yet people are still walking around like this shit is over. No, this shit is not over. Just because, you see people not wearing their masks doesn't mean this shit is not here. It's still alive. It's still in the air. There's a new variant. There's 2 new variants, to be exact. And people that never caught COVID are now catching it. So I'm telling everyone on this live, if you're going to watch the replay, protect yourself. At this point, I feel like telling you guys to get vaccinated is a dead record, and it's dead and it's over with. But now I'm just going to tell you, just protect yourself. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. A pack of masks costs you $2, like 10, costs you $2. A box, if you go to any local store, costs you about $5. Don't go to Dwayne Reed to spend a whole bunch of money on masks when you can buy it at a local 99-cent store for $5. Cause we're dealing with this shit, and this shit is not going away. So I want to tell people, I heard the black seed oil thing from more than one person. It's just at this point, it's about you wearing a fucking mask. and keeping your distance. And the social distancing part felt like it vanished away. No, you still got to keep your fucking distance. Because this shit is still in the air. So let's think about that. Blessings to you, Dr. Mike. Oh, South Florida, I'm praying for you. That's a COVID nasty clusterfuck. And then you got a governor that's basically like committing a mass legal murder. He's legally murdering people. It's the truth. But I said all of my stuff about COVID. Right? Yeah, I did. So, the news in politics. A certain person got arrested. Well, no, not got arrested. Was arrested already. Is actually found guilty of contempt from Congress. I want to read some of that. There we go. Ooh, right here. Oh, wow, they're down. Thank God. Because Florida, like I said, I'm praying for y'all in Florida. So, in politics, Steve Bannon found guilty of contempt for defying January 6th committee subpoena. A federal jury has found former Trump advisor Steve Bannon guilty of contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena from the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack. The conviction is a victory for the House January 6th Select Committee as it continues to seek the cooperation of reluctant witnesses in its historic investigation. It's also a victory for the Justice Department which is under intense scrutiny from its approach to matters related to the January 6th attack. After nearly 2 days of hearing evidence and witness testimony, the jury reached a unanimous verdict on the 2 contempt charges in less than 3 hours. Bannon will be sentenced on October 21st, and he faces a minimum sentence of 30 days, according to the federal law. Bannon's team did not mount a defense during the trial, and he did not take a stand. He was indicted by a federal grand jury in November after he blew off October deadlines for producing the documents and testimony the committee subpoenaed. In demanding his cooperation, the committee had pointed to Bannon's contacts with Trump in the lead up to the Capitol assault and his presence in the so-called war room of Trump allies at the Willard Hotel in Washington the day before the riot, and a prediction he made on his podcast saying it will be hell, that all hell was going to break loose. And there's more there, but here's my thing. 30 fucking days in jail. He needs at least about 10 to 15 years. And that's just me being generous. Anyone commits assault at the Capitol, which has not been breached, honestly, since the War of 1812, don't need to be in Congress and don't need to be out in society. Because that's a domestic terrorist act. Many people had to fear their lives, even those that sympathize with the insurrectionists, Joshua David Hawley. But, yeah. So this 30-day sentence is bullshit. So I just hope he gets hit more with charges. I really do. I actually hope somebody beats his ass in jail, and I don't mean to be mean, but it's bullshit. Yeah, I guess that's his business partner, Dr. Mike. Where you haven't seen Ice Cube ass lately. But, and other stuff with January 6th. So, this is interesting. I learned this shit tonight. Even though I watched the hearings yesterday. And the Congresswoman of Virginia did extremely well. Kissinger did well too. But the Congresswoman of Virginia, no one never seen her. But I'm pretty sure she does her work in it, but she did a very good job laying it out and making the case of why this bum needs to be arrested and locked away in jail for what he did. But I learned tonight on Lawrence O'Donnell's, the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell, James Murray, the head of Secret Service, deleted all messages, text messages from January 6th concerning January 6th to be exact. And because the Secret Service is under investigation, he is leaving at the end of the month to be the head security, corporate security at Snapchat. Snapchat is where? Here in New York. And this also comes off the heels after one of the Secret Service agencies is a subject of a criminal investigation within the January 6th committee. Am I surprised the Secret Service was a part of this? No, I'm not. After all, they was kissing Trump's ass like no tomorrow. Why would you be afraid of a man that talks so much shit? He's nothing but a punk. But the fact is that, so many people were involved in this insurrection. This is going to take to probably leading up to the election to come up with their findings. But there will be an October surprise. Because I said more shit was going to pop off. That everybody's raggedy asses was going to was going to go to the polls. But, yeah, so that bum that caused the insurrection, along with other of his minions, they in trouble. But I'm just sitting here laughing back because I knew all this shit was going to go down. And so did Hillary Clinton. She was right about everything. I mean, Hillary Clinton literally, had a crystal ball. She literally prophesied of what a bum's presidency was going to look like. And if he did not like the results of the election, he was going to call this shit rigged. And he did. And because of that, he caused and incited an insurrection with his minions, including the junior senator of Missouri himself, Joshua David Hawley. People got Forrest Gump memes and everything running. No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to call him out by his name, Joshua David Hawley, because Joshua David Hawley is the biggest downgrade to Claire Connor McCaskill. Yeah, he is the biggest downgrade. Joshua David Hawley of Missouri, which he really lives in Virginia, is the biggest downgrade to Claire Connor McCaskill. And that's the God-given truth of the matter. Take that one, Abigail. That's his press secretary. And her Twitter is a hot-ass mess. But these cases will continue. So stay tuned. And also check out what you call it. Dawn and Julie Spaces too. Yeah, she needs to play some lotto numbers. But you know what? Hillary Clinton is sitting back, chilling like a villain. Living her best senior citizen life. Rocking that long hair with her ponytail, with her pantsuits. Being a grandmother. So, I ain't mad at her. And she does win the Mrs. Cleo award. How about she is the Mrs. Cleo, the white version And so as a Congress themselves, besides doing the good work they're doing with the 1-6 committee, Congress passed a bill to codify marriage equality. And, since the Supreme Court, came down with the abortion thing, and, Justice Willie Lynch himself, Clarence Thomas, said he was going to come at the marriage equality, him and Sam Alito, Scalia Jr., that's what they're doing. So, out of all the people that voted for the bill, of course, 220 Democrats, all of them voted for to codify marriage equality, with 47 Republicans out of the 206. I'm not surprised. 7 of them did not vote. I'm not surprised. And out of the 47 was Armstrong, Pence, Cheney, Kissinger, Fitzpatrick, Newhouse, Van Drew, Waltz, Wagner, Stefanik, and much more, which I'm surprised with Stefanik. But then again, it's like she never really voted with her party. Only 78% of the time she voted with Donald Trump versus Kissinger and, Cheney's 93. And speaking of Elizabeth. So, I know everybody is like happy that Elizabeth is on the 1-6 committee. She's the vice chair. She's speaking truth to power. She's speaking up for, to protect her party, to protect, democracy, bipartisanship. And now she voted to codify marriage equality, and she's, righting her wrongs and all of this stuff. Hold up, son. Elizabeth voted against the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, the American Rescue Plan, baby formula to address it, voting rights, and to codify abortion rights. So the question I have for the folks that's glorifying Elizabeth Lynn Cheney, is she a hero? No. She's not a hero. If Elizabeth was a hero, Elizabeth would not voted for Donald Trump back in 2016. If Elizabeth was a hero, Elizabeth would not voted with that same bum that she voted for 93% of the time. If Elizabeth was an ally to black people and brown people, and of course women, but mostly black and brown people, she would have never voted against voting rights, which I don't think that's a partisan issue, or the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And if she was just an overall ally to women, she would never voted against codifying abortion rights. She would not send a tweet congratulating the striking down of Roe versus Wade. So to all the white folks out there, and some black folks, praising Elizabeth Lynn Cheney for telling the truth, standing up against Trumpism. I got news for you. Elizabeth is saving face because she's facing a tough-ass primary back in her home state of Wyoming. She's pressuring Democrats to change their party affiliation to vote for her. And she's trying to run for president if she loses. Her and Adam Daniel Kissinger, which he's not running for re-election. So I'm just going to say this. Both Elizabeth Lynn Cheney and Adam Daniel Kissinger are not our friends. They're doing this to protect themselves, to withhold white supremacy in the Republican Party, to fight for the party they once loved, fight for conservatism and Reaganism and Reaganomics. They don't give a damn about democratic policies, bipartisanship. They don't give two fucks. So to all you white Democrats of all ideological spectrums and some of you black folks that are praising her, I'm going to need for you to realize both Elizabeth and Adam are not our friends. I somewhat appreciate their work. I don't appreciate it to a fullest extent because I know at the end of the day they're going to dick us over and screw us over. So they could run for president in 2024 because they feel like the vice president, who might be the actual nominee if the president decides not to run, which he might run again with the vice president, they don't think she's competent. So I don't trust them, not even sitting next to them and asking for a piece of candy. So I'm going to need for y'all to get your heads out your asses. Get in reality, they're not our friends. And if you think this message is divisive, then maybe you have a problem. Maybe you need to not just listen to this video. Maybe you just need to slide through and ignore. Pass the fuck on by. Like, I'm so sick of this praising her. Saying, like, oh my God, she's a hero. No, she's not a fucking hero. She's not. And to all of you white Dems, okay, let me just tell y'all something. Black and brown people told you so back in 2016. We've been telling y'all shit for so long and you guys continue to disregard us. We told you that if this bum gets elected back in 2016, our democracy would be in limbo. Here we are 6 years later. Look what happened. And now we have an actual Democratic president. Y'all want him to fix shit that has been effed up for 4 years, to fix shit within a 2-year span? Have y'all not listened to President Obama back in 2008 when he first got elected? After 8 years of Bush number 2? That everything's not going to get fixed in one term? Guess what? We're in the same situation. Everything's not going to get fixed in one term. We're still dealing with a freaking raging pandemic. We're dealing with inflation because of the freaking pandemic. We're dealing with shortage of supplies because of the pandemic and the jacked up trade deals that bum did and messed up everything, messed up our relations across the pond. We're just fixing that shit back after being jacked up for so long, after the Europeans felt alone, and so our allies in in Africa overall, and in Asia. And in the Caribbeans. And in Canada. So I'm going to need for y'all to get it together. And that's another thing. I know some of y'all get upset because of all my tweets and everything. Because I'm going to say it. Most of y'all the reason why we're in this fucking mess. Y'all keep voting for people that, oh, they inspire me. I need to feel inspired. So you need to feel inspired to save democracy. You need to feel inspired to be engaged in politics. Get the whole ass fuck out of here. Because there's candidates that black people wanted. But did we sit down and vote? Or did not vote? No. We didn't. But I'm just going to like clear this up because I'm tired of this shit. So to progressives, white centrists, and white moderates. Because maybe y'all, think differently when it comes to ideology, but you guys have the same mentality, right? You shouldn't be inspired to go vote for a candidate of your choice because they inspire you. Oh no, let me say that over again. Differently. Because it's a little too nice. So to all of you white progressives, white centrists, and white moderates, this message is for y'all. Y'all may have different ideologies, but you guys are the same coin. You should vote because democracy is important. It's the most important asset of this country. Not because you feel inspired or you need to be excited. You can go to a fucking concert. You think black people voted for President Obama because they were inspired? No, because we're in a goddamn recession at the time. And people was not just only losing their jobs, people were losing their homes and their cars and their way of life. And the president was hope. He ran on hope. And that's what happened. So I'm going to need for y'all to get your shit together. And to the progressives especially. This is for y'all. Bernie Sanders will be 82 by 2024. He'll be much older than the president, damn near, because he's a year older than the president, to run for president again after getting sick the second time. And Elizabeth Ann Warren will be in her mid-70s. It's a hit and miss with her. Her time was 2016, and she did not run. So you'll be like 8 years too late, miss. If the president decides not to run in 2024, which I highly doubt he will run, because he will run, then the vice president will run. And no, ladies, it's not going to be an all-female ticket because unfortunately this country is not evolved still. I mean, they can't even evolve to the fact that we had the first black president. They're still shaking in their boots that we have the first vice president and it happens to be a black and South Asian woman. So they're not ready for an all-female ticket. I can tell you that shit right now. They're not ready and they're never going to be ready. So that ship has sailed. But to all white Democrats, stop glorifying Elizabeth Cheney. Stop telling Gavin Newsom to run for president because he's not going to do that. Stop recruiting my AG here in New York to be the AG for America because she is not interested in Washington politics. Just stop. You guys are exhausting as fuck. Please and thank you. But until then, everyone, I see Queen here. Wagwan to you. Hello, everyone. I'm glad that you guys were on. You know, I haven't been on so much. I'm tired. And, you have a lovely weekend. If you're living on the East Coast, because the East Coast is so hot, please stay hydrated. Drink some water. And if you don't have anywhere to go, stay home. But drink some water. And have a good night.